do you any good in the long run.
This is the far-right's new philosopher superstar, and when he thinks of the plight of men in America, it brings him to tears.
Every time the topic comes up, it breaks me up because it's so damn sad.
He says that white privilege doesn't exist,
I think the idea of white privilege is absolutely reprehensible.
that women in gender studies courses should be defunded,
Why the hell are we subsidizing revolution? It's crazy, and it's dangerous.
and that it's better for trans people if we don't use the pronouns that they prefer.
I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest, and that's that.
His name is Jordan Peterson, and his influence is gaining rapidly. His latest book was at the top of the Amazon bestseller list, and his YouTube channel has 700,000 subscribers. But according to him and conservative writers across the country, no one knows what he stands for. Okay, so what does Jordan Peterson believe? For that, let's take a look at his new book called 12 Rules for Life. The book lays out simple rules for personal accountability. Stand up straight, tell the truth, be precise in your speech. It's pretty basic self-help stuff, a lot of which is about how to get girls. But then, underneath all that, are his politics. Peterson, who's usually pretty lucid, believes in a paranoid conspiracy popular on the far right. He believes our cultural institutions are run by a cabal of radical Marxists who want to destroy Western civilization. This fictional conspiracy used to be called cultural Marxism. Peterson calls it postmodernism. Take Peterson's belief about women in gender studies departments at universities. Those departments don't really want women's equality in our society and in the workplace. No. They want to destroy the Western world intentionally as part of a Marxist revenge plot.
They produce political activists, and their goal is to restructure the patriarchy. Well, what's the patriarchy? Well, the patriarchy is Western civilization. And what does restructure mean? That's easy. It means tear it down and destroy it.
In Professor Peterson's world, the hierarchies that have put men at the top are important. They come from nature, and they're not to be disturbed. One thing he's obsessed with, for example, is lobsters. As in, lobsters have gender hierarchy, and you wouldn't say that lobsters oppress their women, would you?
That's one of the things that made him so popular among, young right-wing reactionaries, is that he's advocating for these really fixed ideas of gender that line up with their anxieties about masculinity.
The far right loves Jordan Peterson, but Peterson doesn't want alienated young men to become radical fringe right-wingers. In fact, he sees himself as a path away from all that.
Many people write me from the right or from the fringes of the radical right, saying precisely that listening to my lectures stopped them from going all the way.
Ultimately, Peterson tells young men that if someone else has a problem with your place in the hierarchy, they're either conspiring to destroy Western civilization, or they're just whining.
He's basically saying that there are those of us who have high IQs or who are very physically strong or whatever, naturally should have access to greater resources, to more control over our communities. He questions the idea that we should live in an egalitarian society.
As the demand for egalitarianism and the eradication of masculinity accelerates, there's going to be a longing in the unconscious for the precise opposite of that, right? The more you scream for equality, the more your unconscious is going to admire dominance.
Peterson takes the old individualism of conservatives and makes it attractive to young people by sympathizing with them over how unfair modern social justice seems. All that stuff is chaos, and Peterson's orderly rules are the antidote. This is why mainstream conservatives love him and have rushed to defend him in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Atlantic. Peterson promises a new path for young men, one that says, all that social justice stuff, that's a plot to destroy what's rightfully yours. Don't let anybody get you down. You've got this, and every man for himself.